Welcome to the Success School podcast. We are on episode 59 today. So on the Success School podcast, we have three types of shows. The first one is Finger on the Pulse, where we discuss topics in pop culture, the news, and media, and how it relates to you as a business owner. We give you the insights, key takeaways, and unsolicited opinions on that topic. Next up, we have our upskilling, where we deep dive on a topic and give you actionable tools, tips, and hacks that you can use straight away in your business. And lastly, which we have today, is our schooling episode, where we get into 3 audience questions and answer them for you here. And we don't hold anything back on these episodes. So, Steph, shall we start with question 1? This is from Elise M. I'm stuck in my own head on what I can talk about on social media as a virtual assistant. If you're on the hunt for a VA, what are some posts you would want to read? Thank you so much.
Hi, Tim.
Hi.
It's nice to be here.
Yeah.
Hey, we're getting used to this new episode framework. Tim's all straight into business, baby. Absolutely zero foreplay today.
Yeah, okay.
Just we're sliding straight in. Good morning.
Do you want me to redo it?
No, I like it.
Okay.
I like it. Guys, do you like it? You want foreplay? You want to just
foreplay? You want straight in raw?
Rough and tumble? I'd love to know. Yeah. Okay, Elise. So I'm gonna answer this question. I wasn't prepared to answer this first. So the fun thing about this for you guys is that we don't prepare this at all.
Yeah,
so
we have no prep. Steph hasn't even read these
I
questions.
haven't even read the questions. So this is just us coaching on the fly.
Live.
So Elise, I'm stuck in my own head of what I can talk about on social media as a virtual assistant. If you're on the hunt for a VA, what were some posts you'd want to read? Look, where do I start? I think the best thing you can do as a VA is and this comes pretty much all service businesses. I can't think of a service business that I wouldn't want to see this from. It's not so much about what content do I want to see from a virtual assistant. It's more so what kind of human are you and would I want to work with that human? If I was bringing someone, think about this, if you were hiring someone for your business and you were going to bring someone into the fold of your company, yeah, you want them to have some level of skill, but we all know that you're supposed to hire based on, energy, personality, their willingness to do so, values, those things. Because the skills, yes, they need to be there, but they also can be taught. Not to say that with a VA, if I was hiring a VA, obviously they would need to have some skill set, but I'd also want to make sure that you're the right kind of human to be in my brand. Do we align on values? Do we align on the ways of doing things? Do I think that you're the kind of person who I can completely trust and have in my brand representing me and my brand? And the best way you can show that is to develop a personal brand. If you're a VA and you are on the internet, which you obviously are because you're virtual, then you need to absolutely build a personal brand. And this goes for, I can't think of a service-based business that shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Even if you have a company, like one of our clients is a website designer and she has a whole team of website geniuses underneath her, their brand still stems from her DNA and her values. And so every single person that's within that company has the same brand values. And she hires based on values and skills, of course, but really heavily on values and make sure they're a really right fit for their company. Their brand values are so heavily displayed online that when you come across their social media, these are my people. That's the way that someone should feel when they land on your social media. This is my person. These are my people. And where it goes wrong, and when we see VAs doing nonsense stuff on the internet, it's
shit no one wants to see.
Shit no one wants to see. Here's how to do an email marketing campaign. No one cares. No one cares. No one wants to see that. I'm not going on the internet to get educated. I'm not, especially social media. I'm not going on social media to be educated. I'm going on social media to be distracted, mostly. And secondly, inspired and motivated. And I'm going to be inspired and motivated by seeing someone talk about something that is really interesting to me or has a shared value as me. And so what I would love to see from a VA is you. I want to know who you are. Yeah. I want to
see anything about VAs.
Yeah. Very little about VAs. Yeah. I want to see you. I want to see how you live your life. I want to see how you structure your day. I want to see how you navigate and time block your work. I want to know how you show up even on the hardest days. I want to know how you navigate, problem solving in your business. But additionally to that, I also want to know stories. I want to see proof and I want to see stories. I want to hear stories about how you transform someone's business from X to Y in X time frame and the 3 ways that you did that. I want to see stories of, how a client felt before she started working with you versus how she feels now, and a testimonial as to, how she's never going to let you go. I want to see before and afters of, if you do website builds or launches or whatever. I want to see a before and after. This is what their social media looked like before. This is what it looks like now. That's why you should inquire with me. I want to see results. I want to see proof. I want to see statistics. I want to see we had this much website traffic and now we have this much website traffic. That's why you should hire me. That's the shit that's going to make me want to buy from you. But the values stuff is what's going to make me choose you. What about you, Tim?
Yeah, I think more on the, let's break this down to a few different areas. If you're wanting to grow an audience, probably not going to happen from posting VA content. So no one's like scrolling in the explore feed and they're like, oh, damn, that looks cool. Let's look at some VAs. Like, that's just not how social media works at all. It's about entertainment, basically. And then obviously like the social aspects of it as well. So what I would want to see is like what it can actually do for my business, but not generally. So not like, here's 3 things a VA can take off your plate. It's like, no, actual like real world shit. Like, what's the stats? What did they do? What are the tasks? How much did it cost? What was the result for the client? What was the outcomes? Like all that type of stuff is what I want to see from a VA. But that's very specific and that is very like solution aware. So if we talk about the awareness levels, the solution aware is when they know they want a VA. So it's more like the direct stuff that's stopping them from taking action and choosing you, in compared to your competitors. So for me, it's going to be around proof that you do what you say you're going to do if I'm going to work with you. But then other than that, it's like more personal brand type of stuff. So Steph and I don't do, and I know we're like other people, we don't do business with people we don't like from a values point of view. So I want to see you as a person. I want to see what you're into. I want to see the life that you live. I want to see what you think about, what your thought leadership is. I did say brand, but I want to see like brand values, like how you treat your company, what that looks like, what other people say about you, like reviews, testimonials, all that type of stuff. That's what I want to see before I work with someone. We don't just work with someone because they get an outcome. We work with someone because we gel with them on a personal level as well. And, Steph and I do this in our content is we really basically we talk about stuff we value, we show stuff we value, and that brings in our crowd and that brings in our audience and that brings in people that know, like, and trust us. So then when they go to do business with us, they aren't shocked when they get on the inside and we're swearing, we're making crude jokes, we're wild as shit, and like people aren't shocked by that. They're not asking for refunds because these guys are so different than what they showed on social media, because what we talk about and how we talk on this podcast and on social media is us in Success School when you join.
One thing I will add to this from a VA perspective is that so many VAs are just so generalist.
Yeah.
And I know you can do a lot of things. I get it. Like, we can do a lot of things. We can do a lot of things. Okay. We can copyright. We can do like conversion rate optimization. We can do social media. We're really good at marketing. We do Facebook ads. We can do handstands.
We can do handstands.
Tim can juggle.
Yeah.
We can do lots of cool stuff, but we're not like, hey, we're here for fitness, pizza, lifestyle, and hot tubs.
Yeah.
That's not kind of our main thing that we advertise. We advertise that we help you make money, and we'll help you do it in half the time that you would have spent doing it on your own. And so that's kind of our promise. With VAs, it's like, oh yeah, I kind of do everything, and whatever you need, I'm kind of here for. Amazing when we get into a conversation with you one-to-one that you can tell us that. But otherwise, on the internet, you need to stand for something. So what do? What is the number one result that your audience want, and how do you showcase that you actually get that result all the time? Right? Like, so many VAs, like, I can do emails and admin and this and that and this and that. The VAs that make the most money do one thing really freaking well, whether that's course build outs, whether that's launches, whether that's email marketing. Get known for the one thing and you will have a constant stream of leads.
Yeah. So I would suggest here is like, you save 20 hours a week or 100K a year or something like that in like admin fees. I think something like that's super sexy. If you went marketing that and that was your tagline, you'd kill, and people would want to be about that.
Yeah, totally. I think most people are just like, oh, it's like you being like, hey, I'm a PT.
Yeah.
Versus like, hey, I
make you fit.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm a PT, which is like, hey, I'm a VA. Versus like Tim's like, well, hey, how about we, lose 10 centimeters on your gut, on your abdomen, and on your fat loss.
You can say gut.
Gut. Yeah, it kind of sounds like the stomach on the inside.
Yeah.
But like, Tim will help you lose 10 kilos or 10 centimeters around your waist. Like, that's a way better promise than like, I'm a PT. And I think a lot of VAs just lean on that. I'm a VA, hire me. And they're not actually specifying how they help people. So yeah, that's one thing I would say. Cool. The second question is from Catherine B. This is such an interesting question. We actually get asked a lot, so I'm really glad we get to dive into this. Do you have any resources or information where I can learn more steps for selling a business?
Let me give them to you right now. We've sold like 6.
Many.
Like lots.
Yeah.
So let's start with that. Start at the top here. So businesses are valued by profit, okay, at the end of the year. So P&L, like accountant, all official type of stuff. So usually they're valued on 1 to 5 multiple on how much profit they make per year. So if you make 10K profit, it could be worth anywhere from 10 to 50K. So the multiple is basically dependent on how systemized the business is and how much it runs without you. So if you're an owner operator and you're doing 50 hours a week and you make 10K a year profit, your business is probably worth nothing, but 10K on the good end. So investors and people want to buy businesses that run without the people that are buying them. Okay. And that's the multiplier and that's the profitability of it. So systemization is key. Profitability is key, and having it run without you is key. If that's, you want a big exit. Okay. They're also valued by like equipment, inventory, that kind of stuff as well,
Assets.
depending on assets, that kind of stuff. So if you want to sell your business, you need to make it very profitable and you need to make it very streamlined. And that's going to be an easier sell. If you're trying to sell a business and it's like client lists and customer contacts and it's making a bit of money, it's probably not going to be worth that much. My next step is obviously talk to an accountant. So if you have an accountant, I would be talking to them. And then the third step, if you don't have anyone that's directly going to buy it, so I would probably start pitching this to people because you're going to get a higher ROI, you're going to get more for your money, and you're going to get less shit. So if you go to an investor or you go through a broker, you're going to have people that are peeling through your P&L like me, and they're going to be looking for any flaw in the number, and they're going to be arguing on you on every single point. It is a process. So brokers usually take anywhere from 6 to 12 months on this. So I'd be starting in your internal network trying to sell a business. And then if you don't have to use a broker, don't use a broker. Just get the contracts and stuff drawn up legally. When you use a broker, minimum cost is like 20 grand. So 20 grand on top of that if you're using a broker. If you're just getting a contract, it can be $1,000 or $2,000 or something like that.
One thing I'll say here, as somebody we've sold, like I said, with lots of businesses, is that the easiest person to sell to is your competitor.
Yeah.
And so when I first sold my first business, I think it was both of our experiences of selling a business, and I didn't know what I was doing. And I just thought to myself, I didn't want to advertise it publicly because I didn't want my team at the time to know.
Yeah. And
I didn't want our audience to know. And so I was like, okay, if I can't advertise this publicly, who is going to be most likely to buy it? And it was a creative workshops business. And so I went and I looked through all of the people who were running creative workshops in Perth. And I found someone who I knew and who had actually come in and run some workshops for us. And I was like, she might be keen. So the first two lots of people who are probably going to want to buy your business are going to be either within your community. So in our gym, it ended up being some of the members that wanted to buy it. The next most highly valued people that will be your competitors, because they will want to get access to your client list, to your systems, to all of those things. And they're going to place a higher value on that than someone who's coming from the outside, who has no idea who you are, who has no buy-in on your brand rep, who has no idea on, how well you've set your business up, or how much heart and soul has gone into it, or how much brand authority you have, or any of those things. They're going to be the people who are going to probably pay the least for your business. So yeah, I really highly recommend, if you're planning on selling a business, go to your community first, probably not your clients necessarily, but definitely to your competitors, to the people who are in your world first. They're probably going to be the ones who are most likely to make an offer on your business.
And I'm just going to say, just a mindset one is, I haven't met many people that were happy with how much they got for selling their business. And this is through a lot of people.
Yes.
So your expectation of how much, and this is anyone listening, that your business is worth to what it's actually worth are completely different numbers. And you need to be okay with that if you're going into the process of selling your business. The more desperate you are to get rid of the business, the less you're going to make. The more willing you're to hold on to the business and keep running it at a profit, the more you're going to make. Okay. It's basically like any negotiation.
We had a client come to us maybe 6 months ago, and she was having a meeting with somebody who was one of her competitors, and a much bigger competitor than her current business. And she said to me, Steph, what happens if he wants to buy my business? And I had a quick look through her P&L real quick. And I was like, look, at the end of the day, you're not turning a lot of profit. It's making a lot of money, but it wasn't turning a lot of profit. And I said to her, I was like, I don't think that right now, she was still loved her business, still enjoys working with it. It's still in its early days. I was like, I don't think that right now is the right time to sell this business. I think you still have a lot more in the tank regardless. And I don't think he'll make you an offer that's as good as you think it's going to be, because you don't have a lot of profit in the company. And as it was, in the end, he didn't make the offer, but she kind of came to the conclusion that she was like, okay, I'm going to spend the next 3 years just systemizing the shit out of this, growing it as much as I can, and getting it as profitable as possible so that I can have that exit. And I think that if you really want to have a good exit, that's the mentality you've got to go into it with. This shouldn't be done over most people fire sell their businesses because they're in pain. So they're not making enough money. It's not worth it anymore. And so they're fire selling their business. That's when you're going to lose the most money on it. That's when it's going to be worth the least. But if you can know, okay, over the next 3 to 6 years, I want to have an exit, then you can set your business up for that exit really, really well. Yeah.
We have sold many businesses, but I will say this, that selling them were incredible feelings. Even though we didn't get what we, would have liked to in a dream world, like the opportunity cost of not selling them was greater than the money we made on the businesses.
And we actually watched a video that Alex Hormozy did about this, hey, and he said that when he was selling acquisition.com, at the time that he really wanted to sell it, it was worth, I think he got, I don't know how much he got, something like $43 million offer or something. And then he was like, okay, well, if I just get it more profitable over the next couple of years, then I'll be able to sell it for $100 million, which is what he wanted to sell it for. But what happened was that COVID hit and shit went downhill and actually got far worse. And so he actually had to work in it for years and years and years and years just to get it back to that $43 million point. You just don't know what's going to happen. And sometimes he was like, I just wish I'd sold then, because the whole having to do that and also trying to build, no, it wasn't acquisition.com. He was trying to build acquisition.com and he was selling
Gym Launch.
And he was like, the whole time that I was trying to build acquisition.com, I was still faffing around in Gym Launch because I had to try and grow it. And he was like, the energy and the opportunity cost that was lost in that process because his had split direction in both ways was far greater than the amount that he would have made extra on the profit. So sometimes you just got to know when it's time to quit and get out.
All right, question 3. So this is from Monique F. I'm having a hard time finding good quality team members. I've used LinkedIn to find staff, but they can be a little bit flaky. Any suggestions on where I should be looking? Steph?
Oh, look, it's a hard time.
Can of worms.
Yeah, it's a hard time to find team out there right now. I think the unemployment rate in Australia is one of the lowest it's ever been. I think people are less likely to jump ship right now because, the economy is pretty flaky and people are really valuing security and things have changed. Like the cost of living has gone up so dramatically. Last year or probably 3 or 4 years ago, what you could have charged probably just above minimum wage and got away with it. I don't think that we live in an economy where you can do that anymore. And so I would say if you're finding it hard to find staff right now, it probably comes down to a handful of things, not just where you advertise. Like good staff is not just about where you advertise. It's also about actually being the kind of company that somebody wants to work for and stay with. And so the actual question was where would you advertise? LinkedIn and Seek are great. Your personal networks are also usually really good. But I don't think that will be the problem in this exact scenario. I think the problem in this scenario is that the volatility in the market right now, the role itself needs to be a slam dunk for somebody. It needs to have, reasonable working hours. It needs to be pretty well paid, especially if you live in Australia. It really needs to have a great, culture and brand vibe and those sorts of things, especially if you're trying to attract younger people. They want to feel like they're part of something. And so I think that where we see recruitment going wrong right now is that people just put up a job ad and they're like, oh, you'd be lucky to work here. That's kind of we see it all the time. Energy, yeah. We see it all the time. The energy of well, I need someone to work for me. I'm going to pay this. So I'm just going to put the job up online. It's that's not good enough anymore. You have to be the kind of person they want to work for, not just the job market has turned around. Another place that is somewhere that you should be looking is probably in your competitors' worlds. I'm not saying to steal or poach because that sucks, but it happens every single day. And you have to be looking at, okay, where do I sit in the market in terms of how much I'm paying, the kinds of benefits, the kind of lifestyle. Why would someone choose to work in this company over someone else's company? What have you got to add here?
Yeah, so I'm going to hit this from a different angle. So, this is for you if you have teams and you're hiring, etc. So look at the profitability of this arm of the business or this side of the business or this service or what you do. And let's use round numbers here. Let's say over a year, you make 50K profit from this. What would your business need to look like from a staffing point of view, as minimalist as possible, to make 50K profit? A lot of the times, the answer here is not about hiring more people. It's about simplifying the service. So you don't need the people, okay? And then if you don't need the people, you don't need the extra staff, you don't have the liability, you don't have to manage people, you don't have to do any of that shit, and you're making the same money in terms of profitability at the end of the year, then it's an absolute no-brainer. I think a lot of entrepreneurs scale for the sake of scaling for the revenue number as well, which we always talk about in our marketing. So revenue doesn't equal profit, and profit doesn't equal revenue. We want to go for profit. Okay. So it's not about hiring people just to meet this demand. It's actually about making profit in business. Obviously you do feel good, you're helping people and all the stuff, which I do get. But at the end of the day, if the unit economics don't make sense right now in this economy, maybe it needs a model change, not more people. All right, let's move into our final segment. So personal updates.
Before we do.
The old cutoff episode, eh?
Did you guys like that? because I thought that was, I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was
That's
good.
like, I really enjoy, like, we love sharing that.
Just
Riffing. We would love for you to submit your questions to us. Probably in our DMs right now would be super helpful.
Anyway.
We would love to answer your questions because, yeah, we love to coach live. And like I said, we didn't prep any of that. So that's
This
just
is live coaching, by the way. We don't prep any of this.
Real unfiltered opinions and thoughts as we say them. But yeah, we loved that. So let's get into personal updates. Sorry, Tim, go ahead.
I'll go first. So, after many years, 4,000 posts, I have gone viral.
Woo!
I beat Steph. First person to go viral in our household. Let's fucking go.
I definitely tried harder.
So she said she did. I've been doing this thing longer. I've been doing this when Steph was in diapers. I was making content, you know. So anyway, the stats as today, obviously, it's going to go more viral. Like
it is though. Every
forward.
day
Yeah,
it's going more
literally.
viral. Yeah.
So 1.7 million views. Steph's throwing shit, so I can't say this. So
fucking
she don't want you
mad.
to hear it. 1.7 million views, Steph.
Insane.
60,000 likes, Steph. 600 followers added. But the issue here, it was something very irrelevant to Success School and coaching. Fuck. Which means the followers
annoying.
aren't really valuable to me. The lesson here for me was you can go viral and maybe it's going to be on something completely unrelated to your business. Maybe a small percentage of the followers will filter through as they might have the interest of it. But I wanted to ask you, Steph, is going viral it? Is it the answer for you in business?
It's we to and fro here, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest about why we to and fro on this because like we know it's not it because we turn over like $2.4 million a year,
Yeah.
and this is the first time we've gone viral. So we know that you don't need to go viral to do that. And we also know a lot of our clients who go viral who don't make anywhere near that much money yet. That's cool. So we know that going viral isn't it, and yet we still toy with the idea of going viral from an impact perspective. Like imagine. I guess it's the unknown for me. Like I would love to know for sure, and this has been a really cool test for us, that it doesn't actually add anything. Because there's part of me that wants to go viral because I'm like, well, imagine how much easier it would be if we had a big platform to stand on and leverage. And obviously when you go viral, like more opportunities open up for you. Well, yeah, sorry, Tim has now. He's so famous. More opportunities open up for you, you know, once you have a bigger audience, you know, you become a little bit more in demand in terms of like you can probably get on bigger podcasts and things like that. And you can leverage some of that stuff a little bit more. And so there's always been that part of me that's like, what if? But it also witnessing you actually go viral. And I know it's unrelated, but still, like,
It's kind of related.
it's kind of still related because everything's pretty related. Like, it's very rarely that you
like
share
lifestyle
Yeah, totally. And so it's kind of still related. And just watching it happen makes me go, that's just that kind of nail in the coffin that, like, this isn't the answer. And yet, so many people chase it thinking that it's going to be the thing that's going to allow them to do the thing. And so rarely is it actually the case. I'm so happy that you've gone viral.
Oh, you sound elated.
Thrilled.
Yeah.
No, I am. It's been really cool to watch, and like I'm proud of you, and you fucking deserve the thing that the poster was about his RAM, and I'm really proud of him that he's worked really hard. He's got this car that he's always wanted his whole life, and people are celebrating him for that, and I think that's beautiful. Like I'm genuinely happy for you. I'm genuinely sorry for you.
1.7 million people.
Yeah, it's a lot of
celebrating me.
people. It's huge.
It's really fucking weird. Like if this has happened to you, you'll know the feeling. If you don't, it's weird. So you just get like every day you get on your thing and there's like hundreds of comments and people like celebrating you and it just doesn't fucking end.
Yeah.
It's just been going on every single day and it gets more and more every day. Like yesterday, 500,000 people saw it.
Yeah.
Like in a day, it just gets more. The algorithm makes no sense.
And one of the questions I asked him every morning when he gives me the update on the stats, I'm like, cool, and what else happened? Isn't that my first thing? Nothing else happened.
Yeah.
Story views aren't up.
No.
Other posts are not getting additional traction because of it. Followers are coming through. They're trickling through. Followers are trickling through. But who knows whether they'll stay. And, we're DMing those followers, of course, as always. And nothing's really happening. And so it just makes me wonder, is it really the answer? And that leads me into my personal update. I am starting to have some unhinged thoughts. I'm starting to...
Not starting, has had. Sharing them publicly.
I'm starting to share them. I've always had them. I think in the last couple of, I would say 6 months, I think it's taken me 34 years to figure out who the fuck I am and what I really stand for. And I feel like I finally really leaned into this. And so I get more frustrated the more time I spend on the internet. Actually, it's really bad for me to be on the internet because I tend to just get really frustrated with being on the internet. We were up this morning and I got mad about a comment that was on the internet. And so I am starting to think that I should share some more of these unhinged, unfiltered thoughts publicly with you guys. And I would love I would love to know if you guys would like to hear this. But one of the things that is kind of on this topic is that I was at an event a couple of weeks ago And, someone was speaking about social media and how to go viral and all these things. And basically was giving the advice to a lot of small business owners that you should be online every night at 7:30 p.m. to post manually and engage in content and spend a couple of hours online just making sure that you're there so that you can go viral. And I just was physically so frustrated by the comment, because the whole reason you guys got into business was not to go viral. The reason you got into business was to create lifestyle freedom, was to be able to spend time with your family. And so if you're getting online at 7:30 p.m., there's so many reasons why this is wrong for your body. But one, you're actually stepping away from family time. That was the time that you're supposed to spend with your family. Your husband's probably home from work. Your kids are probably I'm assuming running amok, or it's close to bedtime. This is the time where you actually get to prioritize you and the people that you love. And now you're being told to spend time online, which frustrates me for that reason. The second reason it frustrates me is it's so fucking bad for your body, because you are actually getting insane amounts of dopamine hits. You're putting stresses on your body. The fact that you're getting online to generate a result makes it work. So therefore your cortisol levels are rising. And then what? You're supposed to just go to bed? Of course, this is why sleep is so interrupted. This is why people are waking up more tired. This is why we're never able to switch off. And so I get heavily frustrated when I see this advice going around on the internet, so that you can go viral, so that what? You can get followers who don't even buy. You get a couple of likes, you get a bit of a dopamine hit. It doesn't even equate to sales. And so why the fuck are we spending our time doing this shit? And I see comments like this stuff all the time. I see gurus, I see people advertising this stuff online. This is the way to go viral. This is the way to do this. And I'm like, okay, but show me.
No one knows.
Show me how much money that company made from going viral. You show me the post. I got on at 7:30 p.m. at night. This person went viral. Great. I can see all the statistics. Show me the bank account the day after that happened. Show me what really happened for that business, because it oftentimes, more often than not, I'd say 98% of the time, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't actually make you any more money. And so I am getting frustrated by the internet, because I really think that business owners need to do less, not more. I really, really believe that.
And no one actually knows how to go viral. That's the thing. This is how you go viral, but no one fucking knows. No one can do it regularly. And I don't know anyone that can do it regularly.
I just think that business owners in this environment, in this world right now, are just being bombarded with all of these rules and all of these really unhealthy lifestyle advice, work more, don't watch Netflix, replace Netflix with upskilling every night, just all this stuff on the internet that just takes you away from actually living your life, which is why you got into business in the first place. And so if you would like more of my unhinged thoughts, I would love to share them on social media, but I'm a little bit nervous. And so I'd love for you to tell me that you think that I should.
I don't even think that was unhinged.
Oh, really?
That was chill.
Yeah.
I say way more hectic shit.
Yeah, I know, but you're you. That's why probably why he went viral first.
So what are the keys to business then? It's do a good job, get a result / outcome for your clients, do what it says it does on the box, and repeat and make the pricing competitive.
Yeah, totally. That's I think that the rule is just do a good job. And if you just do a good job, and if you're a service-based entrepreneur, getting being online at 7:30 p.m. at night and trying to go viral and all this nonsense is just going to make you more tired.
Fuck that.
And you're going to be tired. And then if you're the service provider of a business, that means that you are the person that's actually going to have to deliver the work. And if you are burnt out and if you can't show up, then there is no one to do the work, and then the business collapses so that you can go viral, which isn't actually even needed to grow the business in the first place. And so I just think that priorities are really wrong in business lately. I think that, this virality stuff and all this nonsense is hyped up as the answer, when it's actually so far from the truth of the answer in entrepreneurship. And I think that there was a way of doing business before social media, and this is what we teach in compound marketing in Success School. There's a way of doing business before social media. That way still works. You can just amplify it with social media.
If you guys want to see Steph really unhinged, let me know. I'll video her during the day in our house, and then I'll post that for you guys, and then we can see what real unhingement looks like. As always, guys, if you got some value from it, share, subscribe, do the things. You guys know what to do. We really appreciate the feedback, so make sure you DM me. I'll reply. Steph won't, so send all your feedback to me on Instagram as well, and we'll see you guys next week.
Do reply most of the time. See you guys. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys.